was like, I came out of the studio and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be famous.
Don't really like this part of the winter at all, but there you go. Yo, today I've got delusions of grandeur. Look, Superman! Anyway,
Right, today's message: creatives, stop chasing perfection. Stop it. For a few reasons. One, when you chase perfection, typically you create in a vacuum. You spend time in your cave, perfecting, tweaking, adding, subtracting. And there's two things that can happen. One, you can spoil your work. You don't know when to stop. And then it gets to a place where it's decent and then it gets bad. And then you have to scrap it all and start again. Or two, if you're good, you're decent with your craft enough to stop when you know that no, if I go further, I'm gonna spoil it. There's still all this time that you've spent on things that matter to you, but sometimes it turns out those things don't matter to your potential patrons, your potential customers. Because what you think is a hit might not be. People's tastes are different and they evolve, and it's very difficult to know what's gonna be a hit. I mean, case in point, there's this song that well, a lot of songs that I've written, I'm thinking, yes, this is gonna be a hit. The first song I put on Spotify, it's called Collision, Toi et Moi. I was like, I came out of the studio and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna be famous. And you know what? It didn't get any traction. Uh, to be to be frank, it got so few views and listens that now it's been removed from Spotify. Now take another one, Mixed Up, which is one of my first attempts at Afrobeats, and I was like, yeah, it's okay, and it's gaining traction, and I was like, yeah, it's nice, but look at that second attempt that I've done. Cynthia, I prefer Cynthia. So I was trying to get people to go to Cynthia, and Cynthia didn't get traction. Mixed Up, people prefer. Go figure. Right, another reason why you should stop chasing perfection when you're doing your art is this one's a bit counterintuitive, but you know, I've come to realize that you have to spend a significant time actually putting your art in front of people rather than just creating your art. It's as important, if not more important, to market your art, to showcase your art, than to actually come up with your art. And the time that you've spent perfecting your art, then after that, you just exhausted. And then you don't spend that time, or you spend really negligible time actually trying to put your art in front of people. And I would argue, really, that if your art is not put in front of anybody's eyes, it's pointless eventually. That's my view, anyway. For me, art really comes alive when it's appreciated, when it's seen. So, when you chase perfection in creating your art, you're not putting enough effort into doing justice to that art. If it's excellent, it's got to be put in front of people. I like this wheel. I like shooting here. I'm not telling you what that is. You might recognize it anyway. But I really like this. Really reminds me of home. Not the wheel, but the sun and the sea, the beach that is not actually brown. That's nice. I believe that the ones that are creative with their art and also creative with the way they put their art in front of people are the ones that are going to be winning. Case in point, I went online on social media and I came across this Chinese instrumentalist. I think they were playing. I think it's a lyra. Anyway, it's a harp, but it's laying flat, and she's got this reel showcasing a song of hers, but it's very creatively put. I'll see if I can find it and put it in the description. But basically, she's portraying herself going to a music session, a studio session, coming with her instrument, and then the engineers kind of snubbing her because she's got an ancient looking instrument, and they're like, what are you gonna do with this? And then she proceeds to blow them away with her art. And I was like, wow, what a creative way of putting out your song, your new song. And as a result of that, I'm following her on Spotify. That is the way to do it. So 2025 is the year I'm going to be doing something like that. Call me out if I haven't done that, because this is the way forward. And I encourage you to do the same. Find ways, jump on trends to creatively put your stuff in front of people. That is the way. Stay creative. Stop chasing perfection. Now, I keep saying that. So stop, 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 stop. And then do what then? Okay, to wrap this up. However, let me see. This door is creaky. Let's see if we can do something about this. Anyway, we'll see if that makes any difference. To wrap this up, stop, 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 stop. Okay, stop chasing perfection. Then do what? Stop chasing perfection. Chase prolific creation, because when you're prolific and you create opportunities for feedback to understand what your audience prefers, what matters to them as opposed to what matters to you. And because you can't predict what's gonna be a hit, you can't predict what people are gonna like. In fact, what people like evolves as well, depending on the culture, the times, the history, what is happening in the news. There's too many variables. You can't say, okay, I'm going to spend 6 months creating this piece of art and it's going to be a hit because I love it so much. What we love is not always what the majority loves. We're artists. We're mavericks in sort of in some ways. So can't really rely on our own sense of what is worthy of attention and what is not. So yeah, that's my message to you. So to reiterate, be creative in your art, but know when to stop. Make sure that you create enough of art, pieces of art, so that you can create opportunities to become better at it. And also be creative in how you put it in front of people, because that would be a disservice to your art to just create and never be celebrated. But that's my view. You have to face reality and face criticism. Sometimes it's trolling, but sometimes it's constructive criticism. The last thing I'm gonna say, I should have actually included that in the video, but I understand that sometimes we just want to put our work out when it's excellent and perfect so that we avoid any harsh criticism. But to be perfectly honest with you,
The chances are that when we put our art out, what is going to happen is we're going to get crickets. That's the most likely scenario. The scenario that we've put in our mind, the worst case scenario, which is we put our art and then it gets criticized and mocked everywhere online, is very, very rare. We have to be really bad at it for that to happen. And then that's unfortunate. But that's a rude awakening, but to be honest, it might be good because then we know where we stand. But more often than not, the worst case scenario that we've got in our mind is not going to play out. It's cricket that's going to play out. And then if we get to an amount of a level of traction, then the trolls are going to come out from the woodworks. But that tells you something. If the trolls or the criticism, the critics come only when you're visible, that tells you that it's not really your art that they're criticizing. They're criticizing the fact that you are visible and they think you don't deserve the visibility. So somewhere they just don't like your vibe, so they don't care about your art even if it's excellent or not, or they're just jealous of you, or there's a part of you that makes them feel insecure. I need to come up with a catchphrase in the end. Apart from ciao, yeah, reflect, redefine, rise is one that I've got on my blog. But for the video, I don't know. We're talking rethink with Rudiano. I'm thinking at the minute, just keep creating, keep rethinking. Ciao. We'll go with that for now. Stop chasing procrastination. What? Stop chasing procrastination. I don't think you chase procrastination. It chases you. Anyway, start again.
Second attempt to commune with nature. Hello. Hi. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hello. Hello, hi. Okay. That looks like a bye-bye. Hello. I'm chasing you. Well, see, you chase perfection, it flies away.